Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and on today's program, we have an update on Jimmie Ward and his legal battles, and you asked, so you shall receive. You wanted free agent replacements if anything happens to Jimmie Ward, if he's cut or traded. So I'm bringing you my top replacements at the safety position if the Texans decide to move on from Jimmie Ward. Now, we do have a little bit of an update on Jimmie Ward and his legal issues that are going on from my man Aaron Wilson, who's been all over this story. Texans safety Jimmie Ward assigned July 16th court appearance in Montgomery County on felony domestic violence case involving his baby's mother. Ward's attorney said, "We believe Jimmie will be vindicated." Now, whatever happens with this story, whether, he's cut from the team, whether he's exonerated, either way, I'm going to be bringing you coverage all throughout it. So if you don't want to miss a moment, if you want to stay up to date with the latest around your Houston Texans, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Never miss a moment. Never be the guy at the water cooler when everybody's talking about the latest Texans news and you're like, I have no clue what y'all are talking about. It's probably because you're not subscribed to Texans Today. Now, before I give you my list of free agent targets that the Texans could go after, I know I'm already going to get comments with these three guys, and I'm just going to put it under probably not going to happen. With Justin Simmons, Julian Blackmon, Jordan Whitehead, I think these guys, not that the Texans wouldn't want to sign these guys, because if given the opportunity and the right situation, I think the Texans would sign each and every one of these guys up on screen right now. I just think more than likely, they're going to sign somebody on the cheaper side, right? They're looking for quality depth. They're not looking for a starter. They're not looking for somebody who's going to break the bank or who's going to, demand playing time. They want somebody who's willing to come in, be a backup, and help on special teams. So each of the next five guys that I'm going to bring to you on today's show, I think kind of fit that mold, fit that characteristic of somebody who could come in, be a backup, and also help out this team and bring in some quality depth. First, this is my number one target for the Texans. If he's down for it, John Johnson III. He played for the Rams the past 2 seasons. He played for Cleveland before that and actually played for the Rams before. A little Rams sandwich there for you. Last season, played 2 games before suffering an injury in week 2. He actually started off on the bench throughout the first game, became a starter, the other guy got benched. He started in week 2, and then he got injured. So he is somebody, he's a good player. Obviously, there's that small connection there, even though Nick Caserio on the offensive side of the ball was on that Rams coaching staff last year. So some sort of connection there with John Johnson III. He offers some special teams value as well, and I think, in the right situation, he could be like those guys in the first graphic I showed you, right? I think he could start if a team, needed him to be a starter, right? But if he's willing to play a second fiddle role, be a backup, if anything happens to Jimmie Ward, like I said, if they go ahead and release him, I think John Johnson III could be a really good option that the Texans could sign for a really good depth piece. Can play all over the field. And I think on the list that you're about to see out of these 5 guys, I think he's the best safety on this list in terms of pure talent. Now, before we keep on going, I want to hear from you folks at home. Be real with me. Do the Texans need to sign someone in the secondary? Give me a yes. Give me a no down in the comments section. We already saw a signing at the cornerback position earlier this week. So, could we see another one coming soon? Let me know down below. Should the Texans sign another guy in the secondary? After the Ronald Darby retirement, DeMeco Ryans said the team will look to add another cornerback. They went ahead and just did that. They signed Damon Arnett from the UFL. He played for the Houston Roughnecks. So, if something happens with Jimmie Ward, if they decide to release or trade Ward from this team, could they add another safety? I think the answer is yes, because Ward has been somebody who the Texans plan on having a part of this rotation, plan on having a part of this depth chart on this defense to kind of slot in, help out in the nickel spot, help in, the safety room, wherever he may need. I think Jimmie Ward was supposed to be a part of this team. He is a DeMeco Ryans guy. Played with him in San Francisco before coming over with him in 2023 with DeMeco Ryans to be a member of the Houston Texans. Now, I do think the Texans will sign somebody if Jimmie Ward is cut or, traded from this team. The level of that guy, that is the question. Will they sign somebody who is, a guy a highly touted guy, or will they sign kind of a, untouted somebody like, a Damon Arnett, somebody from the UFL? That is yet to be seen. Now, let's get into the next name on the list. It is Kayvon Wallace. He is another safety. He's bounced around from team to team. If that name sounds familiar, if you're a college football guy, he played with Clemson, was a part of a lot of those really good Clemson Tiger teams this past season. Played with the Seattle Seahawks, had 15 tackles, 0 interceptions, 0 pass breakups. Kind of a special teams ace kind of guy. Everywhere that he's gone, he's played more than 50% of the special team snaps. He's somebody who can give you value in that end as well. A very versatile player, has played, in the slot, played in the box, played at the free safety spot. So he's somebody who you can kind of move all around. I think will be relatively cheap, right? Barely played for the Seahawks last season. So I think that's a kind of key factor as well, in that he's not going to cost a lot. He's going to help out in special teams. And like I said, he's been a part of multiple defenses in the NFL. So I think all those things work in favor of Kayvon Wallace if the Texans are looking to sign another safety in free agency. Now, I have 3 more names on the list. The next one coming up, Jalen Mills. And I know this whole time I've said, special teams is going to be an important part of it. And this is where I kind of contradict myself a little bit. Whenever I was looking up, I was like, oh yeah, Jalen Mills. I think he's a decent safety target. Barely any special team snaps in his career. Now, not to his fault. He's been a starter along the way, different places that he's gone with the Philadelphia Eagles, with the New England Patriots. He started at both of those spots, so he hasn't needed to play special teams. And I don't know if he's going to be willing to do that at, later on in his career. He's getting up there, 32, I believe, about to turn 33. He is from Texas, from DeSoto, Texas, up near Dallas. Played at LSU, so familiar with the Bayou area. Could Jalen Mills be a guy who comes over and helps out? Now, I do think, a couple things don't work in his favor. One, like I said, not being a special teams guy, and he primarily plays out of the slot. So he's not as versatile as some of the other guys that will be mentioned on today's video. 6 foot, 191, a little generous, right? A little bit of a smaller corner. So he does seem to fit in as a slot-only guy, and if you have Jalen Petrie, you don't really need him in the slot, but an interesting name nonetheless to consider. Now, I have 2 more names if the Texans do release Jimmie Ward that DeMeco Ryans and company should look at. But before I do, hey, you. Yeah, you. Watching my video right now. Do you ever like to go to the golf course and rock your favorite team? Well, I got you covered right here with this freaking Texans polo. And, Producer Moose, it's on sale. It's on sale. It's almost 50% off. You go to chatsports.com/Texans Polo sale. Supplies are limited. So once they sell out of a large, an extra large, a medium, they're not making any more. So get them while the supplies last. This Texans Polo on clearance right now. If you want to be out in the sun, hanging out, repping your favorite team, all you need to do is go to this link right here. It's in the comment section and description of today's video. Now, 3 names, 2 more to go. The next name on this list, it's a familiar one, Adrian Amos. He actually played with the Texans for a little bit on the back end of the 2023 season. Did not play last year, was signed by the 49ers, did not play in 2024. But in 2023, had 28 tackles, 1 pass breakup. Another guy getting up there in age a little bit. He's actually played quite a bit of special teams as well. Like, he's somebody who can give you some special teams value, is really good in the run game. In 2023, now it's PFF, so obviously, he had 28 tackles. Take it with a grain of salt. But the 4th best run defense grade out of all the safeties in 2023 via PFF, not too bad, not too shabby. Somebody who can help you out in that aspect. I think Adrian Amos, if he's, healthy, if he's, in shape, good to go, could be a decent option. Somebody this team is familiar with, and we've seen already. Nick Caserio, DeMeco Ryans, they love connections. Guys who they feel comfortable with, they're willing to take chances on and bring back, right? So we've already seen some guys re-sign. Miles Bryant has already been re-signed by this team. Could they bring back another guy in Adrian Amos if they need some safety help? I think is another decent option. Last one on the list, though, number 5. I'm going to go with Ryan Neal. He's played the past 2 seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm not going to mince words with you. Last year, barely played. In 2023, was not good at all. Was not good at all. I think a quarterback rating when targeted in 2023, I think it was in the 150s. I think it was like 158. So not a great past 2 years, but he is really good in run support, and he's a bigger guy, 6'3", 200 pounds, so maybe you can move him around, use him like that versatility a little bit. He plays all over the field. He plays in the slot, plays in the box, has played some free safety as well. But like I said, are you willing to take a chance on somebody who had that bad of coverage rates? Is it him, or was it just an anomaly? Because in Seattle, whenever he played with the Seattle Seahawks, looked pretty decent. But then in 2023 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not so good. Not so good at all. So Ryan Neal could be somebody the Texans consider, like I said, a bigger guy, but a down 2 years in Tampa Bay. Could the Texans look to bring in a guy like Ryan Neal? Here's my list. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to hit me up on social media, let me know what you think of it. Did I miss anybody? Am I totally off base with thinking these 5 guys could be free agent safety targets for the Houston Texans? Maybe, but I do think another option is, and this could be the move that the Texans actually make. The Texans could also wait until roster cutdown day to see who's available from other teams. If there's a decent backup safety on another team but just misses their 53-man roster, maybe the Texans can claim one of those guys off of waivers. Like I said at the beginning, they're not looking for a starter. They're not looking for a plug-and-play guy. They need good depth, and they need somebody who can help out in special teams. So maybe they wait, and they're not too worried about adding a guy right now, especially with Jimmie Ward's court date not being until the middle of July. They can maybe play the waiting game and see how things play out as we get closer and closer to preseason, training camp, and the regular season. Now, where my real ones at? Where my real ones at? If you made it to the end of the video, spam those H's down in the comment section. I'm looking at you. Yes, you. You made it to the end of the video. Go spam those H's so I can show you some love down below. And as always, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button for the latest Texans news and rumors.